Good evening again, everyone. So I am going to give you a brief overview of our city budget tonight. And then I want to also tell you where you can get more information and how you can be involved in the budget process. So our budget, we get revenue from a number of different sources. Those are taxes, taxes are unrestricted. They can be used for any purpose. And then we also collect fees, rates on our utilities, and we receive grants from other governmental agencies. While the local taxes are unrestricted and can be used for any purpose, utility rates, fees, and grants are typically restricted for specific things. So this shows where the money comes from in our Anaheim budget. You can see that the bulk of that, 31%, comes from enterprise revenues. Our enterprise revenues is the money or the rates that come from our electric utility, our water utility, sanitation, our golf courses, and our convention and sports and entertainment venues. And so those revenues are restricted for providing those services. Other funding includes taxes, 21%, like I mentioned, that's mostly discretionary. Fees and permits, other revenues, benefits, and intergovernmental. So this is a look at where the money comes from in our general fund. The general fund, about 76% of that, almost 80%, comes from unrestricted taxes. So we spend most of our time talking about the general fund because we have what we call our big three revenues, which is sales tax, property tax, and transient occupancy tax, or TOT. That's the tax that our visitors pay when they stay in Anaheim hotels. So that is where the bulk of the revenue comes from. So now that we've collected all the money, where does it go? So about 77% of the general fund budget provides for services to the community. That includes labor costs, such as full-time and part-time salaries, and all related benefits. And then operating expenses, including facility rent, vehicle maintenance, and office supplies. The remainder, that gray slice of the pie, goes to other funds where it's used to pay for debt service. So now if we take that services slice of the pie and we break it down, oops, next slide, that one. This slide shows the direct spending from the general fund. More than half, almost 2/3, goes to keeping our safe, which is our police and fire services. Departments that we call them ensuring quality of life, that makes up about 19%. That includes community services, so that's parks, recreation, libraries. It also includes housing and community development, and our planning and building departments. About 8% is maintaining our infrastructure. That's public works and public utilities. So that's the street lights, 311 call center, and then our public works maintenance of effort. The remaining 9% is administrative departments who are focused on supporting the operating departments effectively and efficiently. So here's another way to look at where the general fund money goes. For every dollar we spend in the general fund, about 52.5 cents pays for salaries and benefits of city employees who help provide the day-to-day services that keep Anaheim running. The remaining 47.5 cents make up other costs. 23 cents is for the resort and convention center debt service, 8 cents for equipment and maintenance, and about 7 cents for utilities and rent. This is another way to look at where the money goes. Of the about 2,100 full-time positions in the city, about 60% of those, or almost 1,300, are supported by the general fund. More than half of those are sworn police officers and firefighters. The remaining portion includes professional staff, such as engineers, analysts and attorneys, police and fire professional staff, librarians, community services staff, clerical and administrative supports, as well as our ambulance operators. So this is a snapshot of some of the budget resources we have available. We have our website is anaheim.net/mycitybudget, And on that page, you can access a budget preview document, which we have copies of in the back of the room. So if you haven't grabbed one, please get one before you leave. That kind of gives a little bit of what I've just gone through. And then we have story maps, which shows a map of the city, and you can see our major capital projects and what's planned for the upcoming year basically on a map. So you can see the area where you live and what projects might be planned there. OpenGov is a site to visualize and explore the city's budget. And then we have Balancing Act if you would like to try your hand at balancing the city budget using that online tool. The QR code, of course, will take you directly to that page. You can also view our budget documents on that site as well. So this, I know it's a little bit hard to read, but the schedule is also on the budget preview document. We have 2 more community meetings next week where we will be presenting. We have our first city council workshop next Tuesday, and then a second workshop on June 18th with the budget adoption scheduled for that night. So again, there's our QR code. So I will be in the back if anybody has any questions, and I thank you for your time.